Hey everyone, my name is Darren, and today in the garden I am focusing on some of the foliar diseases that are very common on our vegetable plants. Today, looking at some of my tomatoes, I am noticing a very common ailment, and that is leaf spots. And with tomato plants, this can ultimately be a death sentence if you don't get on it right away and give it some treatment to slow down the expanse and spread of this foliar disease. All right, so here is just one of my tomato plants overall, still very healthy. We're in the middle of July at this point, and it's not uncommon to start seeing some signs of leaf disease on our plants as they may start to be turning yellow. You may start to see some spotting that will lead to yellowing of the leaves, and I'm seeing some very common effects of that right now. This is leaf spot. Early blight is another common ailment on tomatoes, and what you can see here are some of these little spots, also some yellowing of the leaves, and I'm just seeing on a couple of these leaf segments so far, a little bit more right there. Overall, again, the plant is still very healthy, so I'd like to start treatment now to slow the spread of this leaf disease before it kind of gets out of control, which can happen fairly quickly. Well, I do try to avoid using any type of chemicals in the garden. Occasionally you do reach that point where you do have to resort to some type of treatment to help slow or eradicate any type of fungal disease. If left untreated, usually it ends in the demise of your plants, and it's still too early in the season to let that happen. Now, initially I did remove some of the lower stem leaves from my tomato plants that were showing signs of disease, but now those are all removed. The disease is starting to show progress up the plant, the stem of the plant. So I want to start treatment, and there are some organic options with regards to chemical treatments, which generally I do try to avoid. Now, this is a very common one. I use it every year. Right now I'm going to be focused on my tomato plants. It's called a copper fungicide. It's great for most foliar leaves. You can check in the back here with the different types of plants that you can treat and the diseases that it does treat. In this case, I'm going to be using it for leaf spot. It's also a great treatment later in the season when my plants, including my squash, also my cucumbers and zucchini of powdery mildew. But right now, again, this is going to be for the leaf spot treatment. So treating the tomato plants is very easy with this sprayer once you have the solution mixed. You basically just make sure that you spray all the leaves, and you want to fully saturate them to where they actually start to drip off. And this solution will dry right on the plants. If you can get under on the underside of the leaves of the foliage, that is a good thing to do as well. Again, my plants for the most part are still in pretty good shape here. I'm seeing very few signs of the actual disease at the moment, but I know just having dealt with this for the last several years that it's best to treat early, even sometimes as a preventative measure, and it will actually help delay the onset of the disease. Again, typically spread with some of the varying weather conditions that we can have here during the summer. But anyways, go ahead and continue to spray all of the leaf surface area on all of your plants until they are dripping wet. They will dry on their own. Ideally, you want to do this on a nice sunny day. They will dry fairly quickly, and once that is on there, that'll give you protection for at least a week or so. I typically do this every 1 to 2 weeks depending on the weather conditions and how quickly the disease is advancing on the plants. When treating your plants, do keep the weather in mind and the time of day. While it is good to do this during the day when it is sunny out, because the leaves will dry quickly, you don't want to do it during the height of the heat of the day. Instead, I would recommend doing it during the earlier part of the day, also so that there's plenty of time for the plants to totally dry before you get into the nighttime hours. And also, you don't want to do the treatment on a windy day where this can blow around to other plants or even on you. Well, I've completed the first treatment of the copper fungicide on all my tomato plants now. The weather's been pretty ideal for it today. We've got sunshine, it's not too hot. Winds are on the light side, and they have dried fairly quickly, so they should be good to go here now for about the next week or so. And I come out into the garden every day, keeping an eye on my plants, seeing their progress, looking for signs of any other stresses that it might be dealing with, and try to be proactive on treatment, because once these foliar diseases start to show up, they can spread very quickly. Well, that's all I have for this video. Thanks for checking it out, and I'll see you next time in the garden.